Hello again, everybody, and today the special on the content menu is Twitter drama. Now, if you shuddered at the mere mention of the words Twitter drama, I don't blame you. It's the most foul of all dramas, and unfortunately this situation is no different. And before I do actually start this video, fair warning, I am decently annoyed over the situation, so this is gonna be a little more ranty, and also in case you didn't know, I am autistic myself, which is relevant to the whole debacle. So before I get into the inevitable rush of oversensitive children in my comments calling me ableist or whatever, know that my opinion comes from a place of experience. If you can't tell from my tone, this entire situation is massively frustrating to me, and it is genuinely super annoying how badly our community is being represented in the situation. Being autistic is already pretty hard socially, and we sure as hell do not need these goddamn keyboard warrior children making us look bad. But yeah, without further ado, let's get this shit show on the road. So if you're unfortunate enough to know what I'm talking about already, I'm sorry, but for the uninitiated, get ready to lose even more faith in humanity. Basically, TheOdd1sOut, a popular YouTube animator, made a tweet that said this: "I think putting /s to indicate sarcasm is a very useful and great tool, /s, and as you can see from the bottom, the tweet is now deleted. This is because of all the baby raging that ensued after he tweeted this, and while I don't necessarily agree with the opinion, as sarcasm through text genuinely can be hard to detect sometimes, even for neurotypicals, I do believe that there is no malicious intent behind the tweet. He is allowed to have that opinion, and it does not obviously make him ableist like people are accusing him of being. I am going to die. Even I, as a previously mentioned autistic person, didn't even fucking know tone indicators were originally meant for us, or were used mainly by neurodivergents in the first place. I mainly saw it being used in Reddit threads so people didn't get a lecture on their replies over a simple joke. By the way, I am probably going to mention the fact that yes, I am autistic several times throughout the video, because I know for a fact people just don't fucking listen. The replies to this tweet are a goldmine of pure unadulterated cringe, and I can't wait to get right into it, but first I should probably just go over the apology.
Bota la lata, weonado, ¿qué me importa que seas del campo?
Shortly after receiving all the backlash James, being the odd ones out, got from the tweet, he put out an apology which reads as follows: "Sorry for that last tweet, I didn't understand how deep tone indicators went past /s, and it wasn't my intention to discredit any ND people." And, you know, this is a genuinely good apology, and even though it didn't need to be issued in the first place, in my opinion, it's pretty solid. For all the people saying, "Oh, but he should have done more research," please, from the bottom of my heart and with all my soul, shut the fuck up. A lot of people, neurodivergent and not, did not know that tone indicators were used to help autistic people. James probably thought they were just used in like Reddit threads or something, because outside of Stan Twitter, that's where they're most popular, and he doesn't strike me as a guy who frequents Stan Twitter. Even so, it's not hard to draw the conclusion that Stan Twitter adopted the indicators from Reddit, and if you genuinely think that he should have done his research before making a joke, let me ask you this. Have you ever made a joke on a subject you weren't well versed in? Perhaps you made a joke about, I don't know, for example, whales. In your joke, you mistakenly called a beluga whale a dolphin, which is a surprisingly common mistake. I am not going to call you an uneducated xenophobe and try to blast you on Twitter because you made an ill-informed joke. I am not going to cancel you because you didn't know a relatively esoteric piece of information. Unlike some of the people I see here, I am not going to cry and shake and piss my fucking pants because while I am passionate about cytology, I can put that aside and remember that not everyone knows everything, and it would be unreasonable for me to expect you to do research over a simple joke. While obviously, you know, autism and cytology are not one and the same, they're very different topics, James was likely under the impression that this was like a Reddit thing or something, and we all know Reddit is not something to take seriously. He clearly had no idea that tone indicators were tied to the ND community, ND again just being short for neurodivergent, which in case you didn't know the meaning of that word either, basically just means someone with like a mental disorder or condition, specifically autism in this case. Now this is just the potatoes of the video, and before I get onto the meat that is the replies to this tweet, allow me to part with these final words. If you are one of the people that is ultra offended by this tweet and is genuinely trying to cancel James or drop your support, grow up. Not everybody is going to cater to your every need, and in this case, he literally did not know, and once more, it's unreasonable to ask people to research jokes that are harmless or that he thought to be harmless, and he even apologized to you. Just stop looking to be offended. Do something better with your time than fighting stupid Twitter fights. There are issues that actually have serious ramifications that you can spend time being mad about, and there are probably people that are actually ableist that you can complain about. Believe it or not everybody in the ND community needs or wants tone indicators. I made a tweet about this, but I feel like I worded it well, so I'll repeat it here. The fact that you think all autistic people people need tone indicators for literally every single tone of message, and I'll get into that later more. It's just to me, it's more insulting than the tweet you're crying about, because a lot of NDs agree with me on this point too. Literally, we just want to be treated like normal people, and adding tone indicators at the end of everything and making this into a big spectacle is further setting us apart from everyone else. I personally find tone indicators that aren't used in like really hard to detect sarcasm. I find using them on like literally every single tweet. I find it very infantilizing and patronizing, and I personally would not like it if someone spoke to me with tone indicators with every single sentence. Obviously, some people genuinely find use for them, which is fine, but that doesn't mean you can cry ableist if someone thinks they're dumb, because in a lot of situations they're used in dumb ways. And believe it or not, it is possible to learn social cues as an autistic person. I personally struggle a lot with that, but over the years I have gotten better at reading the room, and I'm actively taking steps to improve my social skills through classes and other experiences like that. By the way, for the people I regularly talk to, feel free to tell me if something I say is off the mark or whatever, because 9 times out of 10 I genuinely wouldn't know. Autism, while it does hinder your social skills, is not something that is untreatable. Don't expect everyone to cater to you, and sometimes you just gotta step up and take care of yourself. Sign up for social groups if it's possible, ask for feedback from neurotypical friends, watch videos on the subject. It's trial and error, and not everyone's brain works the same, but for the love of God, at least try to help yourself instead of doing all this empty activist shit. And for the people that are weeping over this, you are honestly the ones that make our community look pretty bad. They are constantly stereotyped as either stupid drooling cavemen or more recently as uwu soft beans who are just so quirky, and by throwing hissy fits over this, you are somehow feeding into both at once. By the way, I don't even want to get into the issue that is the TikTok girl that pretended to have fucking autism, and I don't fucking know, that's a whole mess and a half, but anyways, I'm getting a bit off track, so let's just get into the replies.
What the fuck?
Oh boy, the moment I've been waiting for. Time to lose even more of my goddamn brain cells here, folks. Woo! First one, you got the spirit, pal, but this ain't it. Do your research next time, this shit doesn't feel sincere at all. Tell me, Twitter user Dairy Queen, what would be sincere? A multi-page twit longer, a video where he bows down to the autistic community and kisses our boots, a blood sacrifice? What about this completely reasonable apology is not enough for you? If you're gonna say that, at least be specific so he knows what exactly isn't good enough. God, I legitimately don't know how I pick the worst fandoms to be a part of. I know this is not on topic, but geez, it is legitimately always the Danganronpa or the Homestuck bitch is up to some stupid shit. I swear to God, I hate it here, especially on Twitter. The next reply is significantly worse. You didn't discredit ND people, you straight up mocked us. You saw tone indicators, something that you're clearly uneducated on, and went, haha, lol, why would people use these? I'm so disappointed in you. I used to love your videos, but I'm sorry I can't support you anymore. Muting this because most of the replies are irritating me. Because, you know, they're calling you the fuck out. Why else would they irritate you? Also, nowhere in the original tweet was he mocking autistic people or NDs. He did not caption the video of an autistic person with, haha, look at this idiot, he's so weird. He did not directly insult autistic people, and again, he didn't even know tone indicators were an ND thing until after he got a bunch of you people in his mentions. And he probably just did his research. You're telling him to do his research, and he literally just did that. If you don't think something's a big deal, you're not going to research something, which is an honest mistake. Really, if you could actually expend the effort to actually consider that other people's views exist outside of your own, you'd probably realize that tone indicators aren't commonly used outside of the specific circles as you think they are. You have to, you know, take a look outside of your own experiences and perhaps consider that other people don't have the same experiences. During my internet travels, I have, again, only really seen them used often enough to take note of on Reddit and Stan Twitter, and on Reddit it was pretty sparse, /s was ever really used, nothing else. Take a look outside your own experiences, like I mentioned earlier, and realize that a lot of people, shocker, do not share them, and they don't frequent the same corners of the internet as you. Not everything is as black and white as you think it is, Jesus Christ. And this dude, who got absolutely ratioed, says, okay, Mr. Gotta Save My Reputation, so apparently he can't even apologize now. Jeez, it is just never enough for these people, huh? Would you just prefer it if he didn't address it? Can he not ever come back from this one single mistake? This is the thing with outrage/cancel culture. You literally have to be hyper aware of everything at every time, and if you even dare say something that can be misconstrued in a negative way, your career is just instantly over. If you think like this, please enlighten me as to how you, the perfect human being, have never made a mistake in your entire life, because if you have made mistakes, oh, it's irredeemable now. Even if you apologize, you're only doing that to save your reputation. It's not like you're actually repentant for what you did, right? See how dumb that sounds? Also, if we're taking a look at the full fucking list of tone indicators, most of them are literally just things that you could put in the wording. I love you, no Romo, I'm not mad, but this isn't about anyone here, but I literally, genuine question is, these are all examples of things where you can write tone indicators into a completely normal sentence. It is genuinely disheartening to see the level of egocentrism here, if I'm using that word right, because literally, the people here are only seeing this from their own perspective and not anyone else's. If you're hypersensitive to these issues, I get why this would upset you, but instead of flinging around and watering down the word ableist, perhaps consider the fact that not everyone knows the niche ins and outs of every single bit of internet culture. Final note, I don't care if you genuinely need to use tone indicators or if they help you or whatever, but if you're the type of person to accuse people of being ableist over a genuine misunderstanding, not only are you lessening the impact of the word ableist, you're both feeding into outrage and cancel culture, which is genuinely something that needs to stop because it is super annoying. Really, Twitter, I just hate Twitter. I hate Twitter so much. It is the worst platform. The people there suck, and I want to die. That's where I'm gonna end this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll get right into the outro now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think my brain just committed suicide.
In conclusion, with every waking moment I spend on Twitter, I can feel my already small pool of brain cells shrink even more, and I steadily lose even more faith in humanity. As you can probably tell, I was a lot more fired up in this video because, again, this is a subject that it involves me and my personal experiences. I am, passionate about it. And, I just wanted to say something because I generally find this situation so fucking stupid, and that most of the people on Twitter that are getting outraged do not speak for us. A lot of the autistic community does not think James did anything wrong. They are trying to be offended on behalf of us, which I find fucking hilarious. Obviously, there are some ND people in the audience that are trying to, mob cancel him, but I don't think that they're a huge part of it. They're like a vocal minority. And, yeah, the only reason I use that godforsaken site anymore is for memes, but I just can't seem to escape the stupidity that plagues it. I'm so tired. You know the deal. If you want to see more content from me, hit that subscribe and like. My commissions are still open. Follow me on socials down below if you want to see more content. And, maybe check out my last video because for some reason it just fucking tanked in views. I have no idea why, because it seems like content that would be like, right down my audience's alley. But whatever, you can choose to watch that, you can choose to not. I'd prefer if you watched it, obviously. But with that, I'm starting to ramble and I'm gonna get out of here. See you in the next one. Bye.